All right, what up, boys? This might be one of the best videos I post on this channel. I'm going to walk you guys through the exact formula to make FU amounts of money with arbitrage dropshipping. If you're new to the channel, I'll explain that here in a little bit, but anything regarding dropshipping, branded dropshipping, whatever it is you want to call it, this is going to be the formula that you want to follow, okay? And just to make sure the number flexing is out the way, and I am qualified to teach you guys this, in the last 12 months, this store alone, we did about $4.8 million, slow year actually. And this other store, we've done over $3.1 million. So in the last 12 months, about $9 million. So I pretty much have a good understanding of how this thing works. Cool. So I want to walk you guys through the full formula and kind of break down each pillar one by one. That's going to allow you to maximize the current product you're selling or the next product that you plan to sell. All right, so we're going to go over the product, how to find it, where to find it, the main mechanisms, and the main, winning DNA of a good product. We're going to do the same exact thing when it comes to building offers and how to separate yourself in the marketplace. When it comes to offer building, we're going to talk about the acquisition funnel in terms of how you're going to be positioning this offer and this product in the market so people come and actually buy from you, not just browse. We're going to talk about the creatives, the angles, and how to approach that, and pretty much how to separate the two. Ads, media buying, how to maximize your AOV, how to max extract dollars from the visitors with building out your LTV, and then the team and the growth and what that structure looks like at scale. Okay? And I'll be pretty honest, I'm not going to be building anything live here or making your favorite AI video. That's not what I do. I'm going to be giving you guys the exact fucking sauce that you need in order to succeed and actually make millions of dollars just like we do with our stores. Cool. So the first thing we need to do is go over our product. Okay. What are the main DNA and the green flags that you see when it comes to products? Okay. I've already iterated this multiple times, and there's another video that I do product research live. But for the sake of this video, let's go over this. Okay. The first thing you need to understand is you don't want to find untapped products, or you want to find untapped brand new markets. No, you want to target broad competitive markets like health and beauty. The reason why you want to do stuff like this is because there is already massive awareness. There's already companies out there that are spending millions of dollars creating awareness about this product, about this benefit, about this solution, about this problem, right? Where you can come in and maximize it. Think about it this way, okay? When it comes to building a product, it's like, imagine you right now on a boat in the middle of the ocean and you discover an island and you want to go ahead and build your house on that island. Well, it'll probably be really expensive and really hard to build a house on that island simply because it's away from where all the infrastructures and the Home Depot and the contractors and, the place you would buy all the foundation and the ingredients you need in order to build that house. Versus you coming down to Florida, for example, or Texas, and finding a really good plot of land next to an area that is already getting developed or that is already developed, right? There's still opportunity. You could still make money with your property, and it's going to be way easier to build. Why? Because there are already builders in the area that can help you with that. Okay, it's the same analogy when it comes to product research and finding a product. You want to find something that is hot enough, that is convenient enough, that is good enough, where you can go ahead and still maximize, obviously, on that total addressable market, not try to be the first one bringing it to market. Okay. Next thing you need to understand is products should solve a real problem and have high organic demand. Okay. At the end of the day, I've said this before, you want to do or sell something that deals with everyday problems. Okay. Everybody's talking about this now over the last 12 months. Like out of nowhere, everybody just became genius, but it's pretty straightforward. Okay. People wake up every day and they look at themselves in the mirror. They have insecurities. What are those insecurities and how can I go ahead and solve them? Hair, skin, nails, energy, gut, poop, testosterone, all of these things. And no matter how many new products and new brands, there's always new mechanisms, new ingredients, new solutions, and new spins that you can put on those same problems in order to help people overcome them. Okay. And that's what you want to look for. You also want to make sure they're perishable and consumable. Okay. Things that you can sell over and over and over again, not just once and pretty much not be able to sell anything else. This is the biggest thing that I like to talk about that nobody does, okay? The easiest way to spot and find these products is by finding an arbitrage on TikTok, Amazon, Shopify, in terms of Meta, right? So think about it like this. the easiest arbitrage opportunity could be something like I sell nootropics. Okay. When I first started selling nootropics, my main competitor was on Meta. Okay. And they were fucking huge. They were making millions of dollars on Meta. But when I went on to see their TikTok, okay, they sucked. They were literally terrible. They barely posted any videos. So I took the same product, same ingredient, same marketing angle with a new offer, and I went on TikTok. And what did I do? I started cashing in millions of dollars, right? By simply finding an arbitrage in one of my competitors. And that's what this is right here. Okay. You simply find a competitor that's focused on one marketing channel and they're good on marketing channel, but they're neglecting and letting go of the other one. And you simply move your product and your offer to that platform before that customer gets to the competitor's product, if that makes sense. Cool. Growth and TAM and search. So once you find that product and you find the main mechanism behind it, whether it's an ingredient, a color, a discovery, a form, gummies, supplements, powder, etc., you simply want to just go ahead and search up Google Trends. And what you want to look for is something that looks like this. Okay, it doesn't necessarily have to be like this right away. It can be like this over the last 12 months or the last 5 years or the last 3 years. It doesn't matter. As long as the growth of the total addressable market is trending upwards, that means there is enormous potential. Okay. High margin, very important. A lot of you guys sleep on this. Okay. I have a margin calculator. I think I've done a video on it before. But essentially, you want to be able to sell between 5 to 10x. Okay. Whatever your cost of goods are. So if you go ahead and you negotiate with a supplier and you find this product, if you can't sell it for bare minimum 5 times it, with the special offer that you plan on putting them together or the discount, then that product is simply, or that price that you're buying that product is simply not scalable. Okay. Simple as that. Simply sourced and produced. What does that mean? Mostly referring to things that are hard to get. Okay. So think of it as like I don't know, a gadget is a good example, right? It's probably a little bit hard to produce a gadget and it's also expensive, or like a laser hair removal, or maybe a skincare red thermal face mask, right? These are all things that, yes, they're simply sourced, but they're hard to produce and they're expensive to produce. And if they get damaged, you're going to have to pay for them during transit and shipping. So just look for things that if you were to launch ads today and by next week you can scale it up to 100, 500 orders a day, are you going to have operational issues that are outside the box, right? Are they going to be so hard that they could destroy your business, or that they could hold you back, whether it's because duties, because taxes, because costs, because manufacturing? Then usually that is something you kind of want to stay away from as a general concept. Okay, reoccurring need. I like to say if multiple people in the household can use it, that product is a gold mine. So if I buy a shampoo, for example, that's good for dandruff, only for men, that is a really good product because everybody, all the boys in that household can use that product. If I buy toothpaste, right, everybody in that household can use that toothpaste. If I buy a moisturizer, right, everybody in that household can use that moisturizer. So think of products that if they are sitting in a house environment, can multiple people use it? If it's a yes, you have a gold mine in front of you. And then this is kind of what we talked about, successful, okay? Keyword, you want to find at least, okay, one big brand, right, that is making millions of dollars in that market. And if you can find that, then that is a really good market because you are going to be the competitor that's going to drive millions of dollars away from those people, okay? And honestly, this might be a little bit, I guess, outside the box for you guys, but the bigger the competitor, the better, okay? The harder they fall. So that is the main, I guess, elements and DNA when it comes to finding a product. Now, assuming you found this product, next thing is the offer, okay? How do you position your offering and your product? So a really good example I like to say is Grunz, okay? This brand is crushing it right now. Okay, let's just search it up actually. So Grunz. And if you go on Twitter or you do your research on LinkedIn, Grunz is literally Athletic Greens remade. Okay, and the founder says it themselves. I don't know if they put it here anyways, but Athletic Greens valuation, right? I'll just do that. Okay, is a $1 billion company with a single SKU supplement. Okay, literally with just a single product, AG1 Athletic Greens built a powerhouse brand valued at $1.2 billion. What they sell? Everyday greens, main offer, subscription, all the time, and they just pretty much force people to accept that. So grunts came along and they're like, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to do the same exact thing, but we're just going to switch the form. Okay? And by just switching the way people consume the same exact product, they have also built now, I think, a $500 million company, right? With 1 million plus members and customers within, I think, 2 years. Cool. So your offer isn't necessarily always about pricing, but a lot of people only think about offer as pricing. Your offer can also be about presentation and form of the product, okay? It can also be differentiated by the audience that you put your offer in front of. And a good example of doing that is by differentiating by audience, right? So here's an example, Primal Queen and Gleeman, okay? So beef organ supplements, okay? Boom. And we'll do Google Trends, right, was on the rise. And beef organ supplements, and we'll just put worldwide, right? I'll put past 5 years, right? Obviously, the trend is growing. But guess what? All of the brands that were on the market, and we go to Amazon right now, right? And we search up beef organ supplements, right? All of the brands that existed before were for men. Grass-fed, Heart and Soil, Ancestral, Beef Liver King, etc., etc. And now, because of because of that trend and because of that market, these guys came along and they're doing 20,000 units, holy fuck, a month, right? Double what the men industry is doing, right? And they've cracked open a big offer pretty much, or a winning offer by just differentiating by their audience. Gleeman is another example, okay? Gleeman was simply a skincare brand that was born out of the gold face mask, okay, when the gold face mask happened, right? And all they did, and I don't know if you can see it as obvious in their content now, but here we go, right? Was they took that face mask and they said, hey, this is face mask for black people. And by just separating the audience to kick off their brand, they were able to position themselves as a unique offer, okay? And then you have all the typical ways or other ways that you can differentiate yourself, okay? By gifts, by trials, by bundles, by pricing. These are the bare minimum, the easiest ways to do it. So if your competitor is running a subscription only offer, okay, cool. Let's go ahead and sell a non-subscription. If your competitor is selling for cheap, don't sell for cheaper. Let's sell for higher and add more perceived value, like an ebook, like a free training, like a customized nutrition plan, whatever that case may be. You have to think outside the box of how you can simply take what's already working and make it seem more improved, more valuable to a specific set of customers. And if you can do that, then instantly your offer is going to pop off and you're going to be successful, okay? Again, you can do this with language. You can do this with audience, male, female, kids, right? You can do this by demographics or ethnicity, black people, Asian people, white people, right? And by specifically doing that, you're going to be able to position your offer as a better option for a specific segment in the market. You don't have to take over all of the market day one, just a specific segment of it. Cool. Then obviously, making sure you incorporate scarcity, okay? Guarantees, science, a social figure. These are all different ways that you can make yourself different. A nice example I like to do here is like EnoSubs, okay? EnoSubs' main thing is they are influencer driven. Not only are they influencer driven, but almost every single product page that they have doctors, okay? You can go ahead and find a doctor to partner up with and say, hey guys, look, we are literally partnered up with a doctor. Our competitor doesn't have this. Our competitor is literally just selling you air and supplements. Versus us, we have doctors on our brand. So things like this will make your offer 10 times better, okay? And these are all also things that play into your unique brand mechanism. It's not just about pricing. It's not just about fast shipping. It's not about product quality, okay? It's about how you position yourself in the marketplace and how do you create a deal that is so fucking good that people can't resist. And it's by thinking about all of these things. Who are the people that I'm targeting? How am I targeting them, right? What am I giving them, right, for their money, and so on and so forth. And if you can understand all of these things and put together a winning formula for your product, then you will be able to generate millions of dollars. Okay. Next is going to be the acquisition funnel. Okay. So now that you have a product and you have a offer built out, now it's time to see how you're going to acquire the most customers possible. There's pre-sale, there's landing pages, right? And there's multiple ways to pretty much acquire customers. I would say this is the ultimate funnel to any brand that is doing 8 and 9 figures a month. Okay. It's one, building education with listicles, pre-sales, and advertorials. Okay. Javi does this really well. AG1 does this. Primal Queen does this. Study the big dogs in your industry. Stop studying the little dropshipping kids or the little stores doing a few $100,000 a month. Study the brands that are doing 50, 60, 70, $100 million a year, and you will see the exact structure that they're following to convert traffic from $0 to $100 per order plus, right? And those are the structures that you want to follow. Now, to start, if I was just launching today, you should probably be able to at least launch a product and run it straight to a product page and convert people, okay? That is the easiest way for me to be like, okay, day one, I spent $50 to $100. I'll convert somebody off my product page. Boom. Instantly, I know there's opportunity. But as you scale, your goal should be to crack more funnels and more acquisition opportunities by optimizing every single stage here, right? And your goal should be to scale based on metrics, okay? So what you want to do is, let's say you run traffic to a pre-sale. Your goal here is to not see your CVR, right? It's to see your CTR, right? How many people are clicking on this and then clicking to my landing page? Now on my landing page, let's say, I'm going to sell people here. If not, usually some people do straight to product page. Now I want to see, okay, how many people are going to initiate checkout? Then once people initiate checkout, I want to see how many people are actually buying, right? And giving me dollars. And based off the metrics that you see in every step of the funnel, that is how you optimize the offer that you have and the selling mechanism that you have. Because a lot of people launch ads, right? And they're like, oh, my cost per click is good. My click-through rate is good. My hook rate is good. My add to cart is good, but I'm getting no fucking sales. Why is that? Well, it's because the acquisition funnel that you've built is not fully optimized to acquire these people. Therefore, this is where the majority of the work needs to happen in order for you to be successful, right? So you want to be able to scale based on the metrics, right? You want to be able to optimize the checkout for the CVR especially, and then you want to be able to emulate high-performing structures. What does that mean? Again, don't just copy the copy, okay? I know you guys just like to copy shit, and that's okay sometimes. But you want to emulate the structure, okay? They're running it from ads to product page. Cool. I can copy that. But if they're doing ads to pre-sale to a specific type of landing page, that is what you want to study, and you want to be like, why aren't they doing a pre-sale for this angle? Why are they doing it here? Why are they doing it for this offer? Why are they not doing it here, right? Like, respectfully, if you're going to sell a $25 offer, bro, or if you have an offer for a $25 product, you're not going to do a pre-sale, okay? You're not going to walk somebody through 1, 2, 3 steps in order to spend $25. But guess what? If you plan to build an offer that's 60, I don't know why I put 60 to $100, right? And a lot of you guys are scared to do that. That's why a lot of you guys aren't making money. Then this is when you start introducing pre-sales, right? Because usually the more steps and the more friction you create during the checkout process or during the acquisition funnel process, then the more qualified the people are by the time they get to the last step, okay? So don't be afraid of friction. Don't be afraid of information. And don't be afraid of high perceived value and high pricing, okay? It's not always about what's the best price in the market. It's always about what's the best deal on the market and why is this the best deal, right? By the information, by the presentation, by all of these things that you're going to do in order to allow somebody to feel confident to spend $60 to $100 with you. Cool. So that's the acquisition funnel. Next, we got ads and angles, okay? Your ad creatives should be targeting different angles. A lot of you guys don't understand this, so I'm going to try to explain this in a very simple way. And I'll probably be doing a video about this separately. But your product is the solution to the pain that you're selling. And usually every product has 1 to 3 main benefits. So for example, let's say I sell nootropics, okay? I sell things or I sell pills to help your brain perform better. And by doing that, you're going to have better energy, you're going to cure brain fog, and you're going to have a better mood. Okay. So those are the three things that I'm always going to be selling into. Now, when I pick this pain and I pick the person I want to sell it to, that is what creates an angle for me. Okay. So the total addressable market that I sell is so big. Okay. And this is what you guys need to understand. But because it's so big, I can't talk to all of it at once. And a lot of you guys launch one ad and one angle and it doesn't work. And you're like, this whole market is too saturated. Fuck this. I don't want to do this no more. No, bro. The way you want to think about it is there is the moms, right? There is the dads. There is the kids. There is the black athletes, let's say. There is the white tennis players, right? There are so many different slices of the audience that have different unique problems. So if I want to sell, again, nootropics, and I want to sell the solution to brain fog, or let's say Alzheimer's, right, which leads to brain fog, I'm not going to go ahead and target athletes with this, right? I'm going to go ahead and target, let's say, the moms who are 55 plus and the dads who are 55 plus. Then I also want to sell my product to people who, let's say, struggle with focus, right? Because my pill and my nootropic helps with focus. So what do? Okay, my second thing is, cognitive function, right? It's helping your brain perform better and having better energy. Well, guess what? People use a lot of Adderall. Guess what? I'm going to replace your Adderall with a natural nootropic. That is angle number 2. Angle number 3, right? I go ahead and I'm like, you know what? A lot of people struggle with ADHD, right? So now let me go ahead and say, instead of struggling with Alzheimer's or you need a replacement for Adderall, if you have ADHD and you're a mom or you're a dad or you're an athlete, then you should look into nootropics. And this is how you crack, okay, the same winning offer, but you unlock new avatars and new angles within that market. So the way you want to be looking at this is, if your demographic or your competitor is targeting single moms with back pain, let's say, and you're selling a product for back pain, you don't go ahead and you target the same audience, right? No, you try to find another pocket of audience within that same market to sell to, because that is the pocket that is underserved, okay? And that's how you're able to scale a product. So to be short, okay, your ad creatives should be targeting different angles. So you pick your product, which you've already had, that's the solution. You iron out the first or the main 3, 1, 2 benefits that you're going to have, and then you start mixing and matching the pain with the person, and that's how you come up with the angles, okay? So slice the pizza and target different personas, like I just kind of walked you guys through here. 70% of the scale comes from strong element creative and new angles, okay? You don't need 10 products to make $1 million, okay? I just showed you guys how AG1 made $1 billion. They didn't do that by targeting one person and one person only. No, they have the problem that they're looking to solve, and they presented it to different types of people within that market of general wellness and health. And that's how they built $1 billion brand. And then all you have to do is, again, find pair points and awareness levels. So inside, okay, before I let you guys go here, inside every single customer segment, you're going to find awareness levels. So there's going to be people who are product aware. There's going to be people who are solution aware. There's going to be people who are not aware. And inside each segment, you're going to have to create different angles and different ads for each of those people, right? So as a pizza, you have the bread, right, which is your total addressable market. You have the tomato sauce and the cheese, right, which is all the people who like tomato sauce and regular pizza. And then guess what? You have the toppings of mushrooms and pepperoni and chicken and barbecue, which are specific sets of people who like to eat those things, right? And that's how you should be thinking about your marketing funnel as a whole, and be able to create ads for people who like specific toppings on that pizza. Hopefully that makes sense, okay? Feel free to ask me questions below. So that is the first half, okay? That is only the first 4 things. So we just covered product, offer, funnel, and creative and angles. The next thing is the question of the day that a lot of you guys like to ask me, okay? It is media buying and ad strategy. What does this look like? I've already recorded another video of this, but it's pretty simple, okay? At start, or even now with the way the algorithm is being ran, Facebook's plan, and Zuck even said this, is to pretty much have advertising fully automated by AI. And to be quite honest with you guys, this is probably the easiest, least important skill that you need to build when it comes to making money online. You can literally hire an Indian or an African or just somebody anywhere in the world to click these buttons for you. All you have to do is set up a CBO campaign. Make sure you have dynamic creative testing, which I always do. So if I have 10 creatives, I drop them all and I say, hey, AI, go ahead and find the best creative with the best audience, and Facebook will do that for me. Okay. I no longer have to do this process myself, right? Then if I really want to scale and I'm like, okay, I launched the first CBO, right? And this audience segment, let's say, did really well with this ad right here alone. I'll just go ahead and I'll be like, you know what? I want to scale this by itself and I want to test it out. And I'll build out an ABO with just that specific ad. Okay. And if performance drops, you just keep testing audiences and placements. And anytime you want to test new audiences, you don't have to create a new CBO. You already have one main CBO. If this ad set right here is not performing, you simply kill it, you add a new one, and then you add the new creatives and you let that thing rip. Okay. As simple and straightforward as that. Do not overcomplicate it, for the love of God. Your creative is where the majority of your effort and your work should be invested. Cool. So I know I kind of skimmed over that, but there is another video about it, so I would go ahead and recommend you guys watch that. Okay, this is where a lot of you guys sleep on. 3 of my students were making, I think, between like $1,000 to $3,000 a day, and we were able to literally double their revenue by simply adding upsells and AOV optimizations. Okay, a lot of you guys are too scared to test pricing. I said this earlier as well. If you're already converting, let's say 4, 5, 6%, right, in your first week, 2 weeks, couple weeks that you're running this offer, bump the fucking price, bro. Literally, the easiest way to make money is bumping the price up. Don't be afraid of bumping it up $1, 10% every other day until you hit the ceiling of like, okay, I'm converting really good and my profit's really good. And that's where you stick at, okay? So test pricing. Don't only test pricing on your offer or on your product, test pricing on your shipping, okay? I can't explain this enough. If your shipping is $5, you can still sell your shipping for $7. Customers don't know this, right? And by doing this, guess what? You're making an extra $2 on shipping. So these are all different things that you can try to optimize and play around with levers in order to make more profit, okay? Next thing is testing bundles. A lot of you guys do this on the front end, but you're scared to do it on the back end, okay? One thing we were doing, for example, was people would come, they would buy 1 bottle of ours, okay? Pre-sale, we would offer them 2 bottles for 20% off, okay? And I think we had like a 8% take rate on that, right? This is before they buy. We're like, hey, instead of buying 1, buy 2 and get 20% off as a pop-up. Cool. If they say no, that's okay. Inside the cart, right, we're like, hey, add another product, right? And we have like 2 other products. They could be ebooks, they could be other SKUs, whatever, right? We probably have like another 5% take rate on that. Then we would upsell VIP shipping. And then we would upsell 2 more bottles at 50% off. Why? Because I already acquired the customer and I spent enough money on that CAC, where everything else I'm selling on the back end is pretty much just GG's. It's like extra money. So even if you have 1 SKU, you should still be making an effort to sell them more of that product for a cheaper price. And by doing that, again, you're going to be able to increase your AOV. Even if you had 5%, 2%, 1%, of the current customers you have now spend another $5, right, per order, that is 10 times more money essentially in the long run and the compound effect than just selling 1 single product. And your main goal here is to really see how much revenue per visitor you can get, okay? The ideal number you want to be at is between 1 to, I would say, $3 bare minimum per visitor, right? So whatever your cost per click, you want to be making that on the revenue side as well. And if you can do that, you also have a very successful and healthy business, okay? Next is LTV and max extraction, okay? I like to use this word a lot because really as a business owner, bro, your goal should be to max extract the most amount of money out of your customer and deliver the most value, okay? And you can only do that by building all of these things. So email and SMS, okay? I can't emphasize how important this is. Email and SMS will form at least another 25 to 30% of your revenue as you start scaling to hundreds of thousands a month. As soon as you hit between $1,000 to $3,000 a day, you should instantly be implementing email and SMS flows, right? browse abandoned cart, right? Customer upsells. As soon as somebody buys, send them a 24-hour discount and say, hey, for the next 24 hours, before we ship your order, here's a $10 off coupon. Go ahead and buy more of anything else you want, right? Referral bonuses, right? This is also so cool. Hey, thanks for buying 2 days after. Guess what? Go ahead and refer your mom, refer your dad, refer your friend, and get $5 off your next order. And we're going to give you a discount. We're going to give you a gift card, okay? This is also really important. New product launches, right? Go ahead and create an ebook and sell it to them. Go ahead and create a PDF, create another product, right? Sell them the same product, just hype it up even more, right? So you have to figure out different ways to continuously make more money out of the customers that you're already acquiring. If not, again, you're just going to be simply in this constant loop of spending money, making money, spending money, making money, spending money, making money. And then instantly at some point, it's not going to be profitable or as profitable as what it was. But the only way to do that is by, again, having the customer data that you have and then selling them without having to spend more money. I don't know what this drawing is, but yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And then obviously expanding to other sales channels. Okay, hire somebody, have somebody help you out, set up Google, set up Amazon, set up TikTok, set up Snap. And even if you could spend another $50 to $100, right, a day on these channels and get sales, you're already in a better position. It's really here at this level all about omnipresence and being in as many places as possible in order to acquire more and more customers, right? And then obviously just think about this as, what is going to be your cost to acquire a customer as a whole versus just in Meta. So for example, for one of the brands that I showed you guys earlier, inside Meta alone, our CAC is probably between $35 to $43, right? Our AOV is about $65. But when we add TikTok, Amazon revenue and profitability, and Google, that whole CAC to acquire that $65 AOV is actually closer to $25, $30, right? Why? Because we're expanding our marketing and we're spending a little bit of money in every other channel in order to bring our CAC down, keep our obviously AOV very high, and therefore our LTV, and be able to sell our customers more and more stuff. Cool. And lastly, what do we have? Systems and growth. Cool. So this is, I would say, like the ultimate setup right now, especially with 2025 and like the AI capabilities. Your main thing as a CEO, as a founder, is really to be CEO, COO, and CFO. You have to look at the numbers, right? Because you're going to understand and know your numbers more than everybody. You own the bank account. You have to see what's coming in and what's coming out. And you have to be able to forecast for your inventory, for your salaries, for your employees, for your ads, etc. Okay? Very important skill to learn. COO, operations. Your job is to build the systems and the infrastructure, right, in order to allow people to succeed in your business by working with you, okay? You will create that process. It's like a gym routine, okay? Once you find your gym routine, when people come work out with you, you walk them through that routine. It's the same thing when it comes to marketing and building this business. You have to create the infrastructure, right? Communicate with the suppliers, make sure you have inventory, make sure your workers and your employees are performing at a high level in order to be a successful CEO. And then ultimately the CEO just likes to oversee and make sure that this machine that he's built with people, with money, with cash, with orders, with customers is working properly. But really all you really need to do is build creative pods. So you need a creative strategist to pretty much help take over the marketing stuff that you would be doing or we're doing on a day-to-day basis. So finding new angles, making new ads, scripting new ideas, right? Then you have editors to bring those into execution with AI plus UGC. Then you have designers for static ads, landing pages, and building, obviously, your website. And then you have a project manager to pretty much make sure that all of these people are organized, and then they are all reporting to you and helping you with day-to-day tasks as you need to. And I think once you can create this right here, you are pretty much in a great position to honestly get to over $500,000 a month. Like this right here, creative strategist, I probably pay between like $2 to $6K for a really good one. Editors, we're talking about plus minus $10 to maybe like $25 an hour for a really, really good one based in the US or Europe. Designers, same thing. You're probably spending about 2 to 3K for a really good designer, maybe 5K, and then project manager about 2 to 3K, right? But all of these people combined should equal up to about 400, honestly, to at least 600K per month. Like, you can scale to these types of numbers with just this setup right here. And I know that because I've done it. So yeah, holy shit, that was a lot of fucking yapping. Hopefully you guys liked that video. That's pretty much the formula. Okay, once you guys can understand these and put all of these things step by step in order, your business will also be doing millions of dollars a year. And if you do need help and you feel like, hey, this is a lot more complicated than more seems like it, obviously, selfishly, I am working with students every single month. We opened up the program. If you are interested in working with me and my team, my media buyer, my creative strategist, our coaches, in order to get trained and really be a part of a successful community that can help you go through every single one of these with live group coaching calls and really be able to talk to me directly, then go ahead and click the link below, apply, and yeah, we'll see if you're a good fit. But other than that, enjoy this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.